an MBA candidate, consortium fellow at UC Berkeley, Haas. He has nearly a decade of experience with nonprofits, cooperatives, and community-based organizations, particularly in the area of energy and climate justice, transformative finance, and worker-owned cooperatives. He received a BS in environmental economics and policy and a BA in interdisciplinary studies. In 2015, Shiva was nominated to the founding Community Advisory Committee of East Bay Community Energy, a California community choice aggregation agency, serving over 1 million residents and businesses. Alongside the local Energy Alliance, they successfully advocated for a local development business plan focused on the build out of local clean energy resources and community programs. In 2012, Shiva founded the Energy Solidarity Cooperative, ESC, in Oakland, California, and served as founder and board chair for 3 years. ESC designed and implemented community-based solar energy within more marginalized communities. He has split his adult life in California and Washington, D.C. Gary A. Harris is the president of Sustainability Solutions Group, SSG, a consulting firm that provides diverse sustainability energy engineering, community development, and energy generation technical services. Mr. Harris has more than 3 decades of experience in the fields of energy, including energy efficiency and renewable energy, and power generation, environmental conservation, community development, and sustainability. Mr. Harris has earned numerous engineering and technical credentials in the field of energy, environmental quality systems, and organizational development and community revitalization. He holds a BS in nuclear engineering from the University of Virginia, a MS in technology management, and a MS in quality systems engineering, both from Kennesaw State University, and has been admitted for the master's degree in sustainability, in sustainable energy and environmental management at the Georgia Institute of Technology. He is a member of the 100 Black Men of Atlanta and holds numerous leadership awards and achievements. Energy Justice in the South with Shiva Patel, Gary Harris, and Reverend Letitia Godet. Shiva Patel is an MBA candidate, consortium fellow at UC Berkeley, Haas. He has nearly a decade of experience with nonprofits, cooperatives, and community-based organizations, particularly in the area of energy and climate justice, transformative finance, and worker-owned cooperatives. He received a BS in environmental economics and policy and a BA in interdisciplinary studies. In 2015, Shiva was nominated to the founding Community Advisory Committee of East Bay Community Energy, a California community choice aggregation agency, serving over 1 million residents and businesses. Alongside the local Energy Alliance, they successfully advocated for a local development business plan focused on the build out of local clean energy resources and community programs. In 2012, Shiva founded the Energy Solidarity Cooperative, ESC, in Oakland, California, and served as founder and board chair for 3 years.
Mhm.
ESC designed and implemented community based solar energy within more marginalized communities. He has split his adult life in California and Washington, D.C. Excuse me. Gary A. Harris is the president of Sustainability Solutions Group, SSG, a consulting firm that provides diverse sustainability energy engineering, community development, and energy generation technical services. Mr. Harris has more than 3 decades of experience in the fields of energy, including energy efficiency and renewable energy, and power generation, environmental conservation, community development, and sustainability. Mr. Harris has earned numerous engineering and technical credentials in the field of energy, environmental quality systems, and organizational development and community revitalization. He holds a BS in nuclear engineering from the University of Virginia, a MS in technology management, and a MS in quality systems engineering, both from Kennesaw State University, and has been admitted for the master's degree in sustainability, excuse me, in sustainable energy and environmental management at the Georgia Institute of Technology. He is a member of the 100 Black Men of Atlanta and holds numerous leadership awards and achievements. And Reverend Godet will introduce herself in her time. We'll give an opportunity for Gary Harris to present first, and then Shiva, and then Reverend Godet.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. I am so excited to be here. And Reverend Malcolm, you are my hero. I've, I've been watching you all day, and I've been trying to emulate your moves, and your talk, and your gestures. I can't get it, but I'm just gonna keep trying. I'm just gonna keep trying. But again, thanks so much. My energy journey began a long time ago when I was in the when I was in the fifth grade. Growing up in a poor neighborhood in southeast of Virginia. We didn't have much, and but I had this strong, way back then, this strong feeling for energy and science and that sort of thing. So I made a science project. I made a science project around energy. And my dad helped me out. He painted some wood, he nailed some stuff together, and we won first place. And from there, energy was my thing. I went through high school and ran track, and went to college and got an energy-based degree, and then went to work for some energy corporations. But it was all about energy. Had a strong passion for it, a real strong passion for it, and such. So, but I always believed in community and community uplift, and bringing community members along, and creating movements for change in the community as well. So from there, I started something called the Center for Sustainable Communities. But even before that, I was a ministry leader at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, and so I was a regular going church member. So that they gave me the opportunity um, to form a ministry. So I formed the singles ministry, and with the singles ministry, we were doing some things, but they wanted to do more. So I took the singles ministry at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church and turned it into a environmental ministry, but later a Christian care ministry. And so we were holding I had folks holding hands in in the woods there and such, getting the hookup. But it was still all about energy and such. So we came back out of the woods and we did some 22 environmental projects through the church there and such. 22. We became Ministry of the Year by Interfaith Power Light. We were featured on national public radio and such. And also we had a chance to work with the Clinton Foundation, who gave us a project to energize the community around the church. So my entire career has been about energy. My focus in the community has been about energy, and I really understand it. But why is it so important that we grasp this in the South? Because I can tell you that communities in the South, really don't have champions in them that understand energy, that understand the need to change behaviors, to lower energy burdens. They really don't understand the need to change the configuration of our homes electrically and through insulation and through caulking, etc. Who really don't understand how that affects climate. So we got to focus on those southern communities where those champions are not present, where those utilities typically are not sensitive, where those elected officials really haven't heard the knock at the door concerning my energy costs are too high. So we need to put in place, all those things in terms of leadership, in terms of champions, in terms of resources, because the South is so vast, and we have great communities and small communities, but again, a lot of them lack the resources, they lack the leadership, they lack the foresight, they lack the togetherness to come together around this topic of energy, and optimize it for its importance. So we here at the Center for Sustainable Communities have formed an Energy for All program. We have an eco district, which is all about equity, resilience, and climate action. And within that eco district, which is the largest African American community in the country, we are changing behaviors around energy. We are going in with technology in homes and finding opportunities for savings. We are holding classrooms and workshops for folks to be more knowledgeable. We're bringing in resources again such that everybody in the community can have these benefits and such. And most importantly, we're getting churches involved as well. So it's extremely important in the South, for a number of reasons, let alone the fact that it's just hot and such. But the need is great. So therefore, we've stepped up to the mantle again because of all that experience we have in the past and making sure that our communities and homes, are the most energy efficient as possible. Can't hear you.
Rev, we can't hear you. It seems I think you're muted. I can also
Yeah.
see you on here.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
I was asking for Shiva to come on, but Gary, since I have you,
Uh-huh.
let me ask you a question. Now you
Sure.
talked about doing energy efficiency as a part of your programming
Mhm.
and involving churches.
Yeah.
One, how are you going about that? Because we do have people on the call who could either or are denominational leaders
Mhm.
or congregational leaders and nonprofits who work with congregations.
Right.
How is your program set up, as well as how could you model that, or how could we model that as in addition?
Uh-huh. Let let me share my experience at Ebenezer. First and foremost, you gotta find a champion within the church who believes in this stuff, who gets it, who doesn't really understand maybe the technology or the techniques, but yet has that passion around creation care, and understands the importance and the nexus between creation care and climate and reducing energy burdens. So finding that champion first and foremost. Next, you got to get the pastor on board. Even if you're coming from on the outside, and holding workshops or whatever, you got to get that pastor on board. He or she has got to understand the importance, and believe in it and support you, and provide you with a push ahead, and such, instead of putting barriers in your place. He's pushing he's pushing those barriers out of your to the side. The next thing you got to do is form a small team, maybe a green team, some folks call it, or a congregational team, you know, and bring those folks together, and so that you're all singing from the same choir, and understand the importance of taking the congregation green. The next thing you want to do is to lay out a plan, okay, for the church itself, and it doesn't have to be an elaborate plan, but start with the structure itself, and ask yourself, what small things can we do? Recycling program, the church office, bulletins, that sort of thing. Quickly, the next thing you want to do is to make sure that this is a continuous embedded institutional program, not just an Earth Day Sunday thing. Not just on the pastor's anniversary, so he can get some more money. No, it's about it's about working this thing continuously. Again, in Ebenezer, we did 22 projects in 1 year, and no brag is fat. We set a national record as well for the exchange of LED light bulbs at that time, and also helped to jumpstart the utilities program. So, and then lastly, take it outside the walls of the church. You got a vast community that is suffering from energy burdens and could use the talent and skills that now the congregation has. Those are the steps I would take.
Thank
And
you.
and lastly, it's a wealth of folks out there like yourself and Christian Care Ministries, and Interfaith Power Light, and Green Church. Bring those folks in and make them part of your team. They've got a ton of resources.
I absolutely agree, and I'm glad you did say that. Not only do would I recommend getting involved with some of the national programs, but also your local programs, your community programs that are already up and going, that are
Right,
doing the work.
right,
Uh,
right.
it's my desire, my strong desire, to see every community of faith to adopt a local nonprofit, and to not only give them money, but give them their time and their talent as well.
Right.
So thank you, Gary. Now I want to turn over to Shiva and allow for Shiva to present, and then we'll come and ask a couple of questions, and then we'll hear from Rev.
Wonderful. Can you hear me okay? Great. Hey, everyone. My name is Shiva Patel. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. Gary, really appreciate your comments. You're getting at the heart of what I want to talk about as well, or I want to showcase a couple other examples of what you've sort of set the context for. I will have to add, Reverend Michael Malcolm is also a hero of mine. I met Reverend a couple years ago, not more than a year or two, but it's clear his passion, his hunger, his knowledge, and his leadership is, is everything. Is incredible, and is exactly what we need. And I'm blessed to be here. I also just want to ask quickly: is it okay if I share my screen to just present a few slides, Reverend? I'm gonna try it. So, oh, I'm not allowed to actually. Um, if you're able to allow me to to share my
Should be
screen.
good now. You should be
Okay,
good now.
perfect. Thank you. So let's see here. Sorry, give me 1 second. Here we go. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. Can I just get a verbal yes from
Yes,
someone here?
yes, we can see it.
Perfect. All right. So here we go. Reverend asked us to speak about the need for energy justice in the South, and we're definitely getting at the heart of that. And I appreciate the intro, Reverend. So here we go. Quickly, who am I? In this conversation and at this table, I come from a background of rural farmers from Gujarat in India. So very much my background and my sort of linkages to my heritage and the practices, particularly cultural, ancestral, and environmental, really come from that background. Given that, or that being said, I was born in England in a small little place called Kingston, South London, near London. And yeah, I moved to Florida with my parents when I was 9 in Central Florida. So that's kind of my claim to the South, if you will. I went to UC Berkeley, quickly became a West Coaster. Might have got, excommunicated from the South as a West Coaster, but I've spent the last 8 years outside of school in mostly Oakland, California, and Washington, D.C. We'll get to a few of the stuff that I hope is cool and interesting and relevant. Right now I'm back at UC Berkeley for an MBA where I'm focused on energy justice, climate justice, and how we can really move capital or we can move money to all of the communities and solutions and leaders that are here with us today and in our networks. Um, a couple of just takeaways that I hope to leave folks with is really around the fact that historical context matters. And I think the Reverend has made that clear many times today, as well as Gary prior to me. Another thing that I want to highlight with some examples is that excuse me, is that it's a key strategy is really about being defensive as well as offensive, and utilizing diverse coalitions. And that's kind of a formula for success that I'll try to uplift in two examples. Obviously I also, and again, another reason that I'm attracted to um, a lot of the Southern leadership is really because there is a lot of bright hope and vision, and there is plenty of opportunities for us to engage. And like the Reverend was saying, it is all about local partnerships. And I think where we talk about communities of faith and we talk about local communities, there's a ton that is at the intersection, and I'm here for all of that. I don't want to spend too much on this, but it's clear that we must look back in history, and I'm fairly young, relatively speaking. So it's important for folks like myself to make sure we've done our history, that we've listened to the reverends, to the leaders, to our communities in our area about how did we get to where we are. There is a reason for just about everything I find these days. And the thing is when we look at our local energy and climate issues, it can all be traced back to things. And I think it's important that we do this for our local communities, but collectively as a community of faith, as a community of, fill in the blank, whatever your community might be, it's important that broadly speaking, we have some shared histories that include the legacies and the current realities of environmental racism, where many pioneering Black and Brown researchers, showed the data and the evidence for that, even though we've been living with this for centuries already. In the 80s and 90s, we've had the emergence of a formalized environmental justice movement, which is also very critical to a lot of basically everything when it comes to securing and having safe access to water, food, our basic needs, and the principles and values that should drive the solutions. In the 2000s, we saw that sort of spin off or sort of birth the climate justice movement, where we've now had a more intersectional approach of dealing with climate change, uplifting brown and Black communities, indigenous communities, those in the South, those who are historically and currently disproportionately burdened and impacted, and looking to the front lines for leadership, whether that be youth, whether that be the Black leadership in the South, this is where I find my source of not only inspiration but direction and guidance. And I encourage us all to utilize our history. And so what I want to focus on, and primarily because I'm only 29 years old, so I can't really speak, firsthand to the three bullet points here, but I can speak for what's been happening in the last decade. And I think what I see is that this path is not linear. I know my slide is a little deceiving here, but my point of this slide is more just that there's like we got 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and here we are in this decade, right? I'm not saying one caused another or whatever, but there's some sort of timeline and history here that's important. And now we find ourselves in a time of the importance of energy justice and energy democracy. And we'll talk about that today. And so here's a cool little thing. Honestly, I can't even remember who put this together, and I should probably give them credit. It was maybe me, but it was maybe not one of my comrades. But it's a collective journey and a collective solution set, right? So, what this slide is just trying to get at is looking at what are some of the values and key concepts of when we speak about energy democracy, or when we hear about or talk about an energy future. And you can see here that some of the important things, noted by being built bigger and bolder here, sort of more common. Actually, I think this was a word cloud generated from a convening a couple years ago in Detroit, where we had 30 frontline leaders, a few national allies, and we asked folks, what do you think of when it comes to energy democracy? And this was sort of the responses if you map it in a what is called a word cloud. And so you could see community, big and center, resource, control, social, energy, justice, people, right? What else do you see here? There's lots of different things. And so I just wanted to show this as a cool visual. And at that same convening and in other convenings, we sort of formalized this vision or definition of energy democracy that, without getting too technical, is really an energy system that is, features social and community control and ownership of energy resources, and really looking at things as a shared collective resource that needs to be in harmony with the earth ecosystems. Otherwise, right, we sort of end up with a lot of issues and more problems than benefits. And so, and the thing, the key part is when you link this, what we're talking about, to broader environmental and climate issues, it's really that democratizing energy is a central aspect of the just transition, right? And so I think that's something that we're all value, and it's important to keep front and center. And so just quickly, I'm going to dive into some examples from North Carolina, because I think obviously that's very relevant to this dialogue. But broadly speaking, energy democracy can happen anywhere, right? It depends on a lot of laws and what the community wants and needs. But there are some mechanisms when we think about policies and programs. And so some of the ones that I have experience with, and some of my comrades and colleagues we've been working on the last decade, are highlighted here. And if you're interested in any of these things, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'm happy to share my contact information afterwards. And if you have questions as well. I don't want to dig in too much because I want to get to North Carolina, but essentially there are policies and programs that our communities have developed, and we can learn and replicate them. And so my examples come from different states, some of them in the South, maybe not, also some from the West Coast, the East Coast, the Midwest. But these are things that we can all potentially do in our backyard, in our city, in our state. And they include community choice aggregation, which essentially just means cities and counties coming together and making decisions about where to get their energy from. Should we get it from coal? Should we get it from clean energy? Should we build a solar plant on all the churches and then sell that to the community? Essentially, it's just coming together to make that decision and take that decision away from whoever has it now, which is a traditional utility, either investor-owned utility or a municipal utility, most likely an investor. Another example is local community-owned solar programs. And we've been developing this in a few different cities and states, and it's becoming a more popular thing where, kind of like community choice aggregation, where you come together as a community and you decide, hey, where should we get all our energy from, for all of our cities in our local area. But local community solar is more asking the question, all right, well, if we can't do it on that level, what about locally? Well, we have a group of churches, they have some nice roofs that we think we could put some solar panels. But how do we do this? And how do we spread that benefit collectively? And so that's what community solar, and there's different ways to really fund community solar and structure it. And again, please reach out. There's folks who do this in the South, and we're bringing a lot of financial and co-community benefits to local communities, especially places of faith, who have, who have rooftops where if we combine a couple rooftops, or even if we have one rooftop, we can spread the benefits of that energy to the local community. And so some of the things that get this done, right, is community education and awareness. And Gary was really speaking to the heart of that and the importance. Also, you can leverage that to then advocate for these certain policies that I just mentioned, right? Community choice aggregation, as well as local community owned solar. And another sort of tactic, right, that we all work on, and Reverend Malcolm is a great leader, like in this, or an example of this, is how do we leverage public pressure and social media and media in general, right? And so a couple examples, I want to just highlight North Carolina very quickly. And this map essentially just shows the diversity and variety of electric utilities in North Carolina. And the main point, I don't want you to get too lost in this. So the point is that there's a lot. There's over 26 cooperatives. And then don't forget, Duke Energy, actually controls most of the energy and controls the local government, the state government in many ways, and the regulatory process. So the point is that this is pretty complex, and many places in the South deal with this. But that being said, there are plenty of solutions. And so if we look towards a solution set, one example that we've been working on at the North Carolina Climate Justice Collective, which is led by Connie Leeper and Jody Lassiter, they've developed the Energy Democracy Leadership Institute. Essentially, this is a 6-month program. We've had to go virtual in COVID, but we wanted to be in person. We meet, once a week, and then as a small group, and then larger once a month. And it's 20 Black and Indigenous individuals from Eastern North Carolina, representing about every county from East North Carolina. We chose this community because we heard from this community around the trifold problems of gas, frac gas infrastructure like pipelines, etc. Coal ash that was being dumped by Duke Energy with the coal ash ponds, and how that leached into the water and was hurting other community members, mostly Black and Indigenous, and the wood pellet industry, which is causing a lot of deforestation. And so we heard the need to train, educate, and activate emerging leaders in Eastern North Carolina, and we launched a 6-month cohort. And here you can get a little bit of a taste of how fun we are and how much fun we have on our 4 to 5 hour Zoom calls every Saturday or every other Saturday. But it's a great crew of people, and the point is that these are all young. Well, it's a diverse group of people in every way. Everyone is Black or Indigenous here in terms of the cohort, and they all represent different geographies, different age groups, different communities. There's a lot of people of faith. We are majority people of faith. And so we're learning about the issues, but we know about the issues. A lot of the folks in this room, this Zoom room, but we're learning about how do we come together as a community, like Gary was laying out. Gary gave us a great, sort of how do you activate yourself, your church, your broader community. And that's what we're doing over 6 months and targeted in North Carolina. And I guess the point on this, and I'm just getting ready to wrap up, just one more minute, is that we've had a lot of success. We're in our 4th month. We're getting to wrap this thing up, and we're going to be bringing it to at least 3 to potentially 5 other cities over the course of 2021, 2022. So please do reach out or look out for the fact that we're going to be bringing what we are calling the Energy Democracy Leadership Institute to a local area in the South. And we are, like Reverend Malcolm says, we are partnering with an anchor local organization in that city who we will provide funds and some of our lessons and curriculum to. And we hope that, we can spread the love and the awareness and the action of EDLI, the Energy Democracy Leadership Institute, to other places in the South. In summary, I think the point that I just wanted to make is that, communities, lawyers, policymakers, a lot of us here today, we are critically shaping the energy system. And we must ground the work in the vision and the work of the historical reality of the inequities and justice that exist today and have existed. And through this, we are and we can achieve, real community-led climate solutions. And so I think that's the end of mine. I apologize if I went over time. Let me figure out how to stop share.
You didn't go over time at all, Shiva. Thank you. I'm going to hurry on to Reverend Gaudette because she's also has to tell us who she is. I apologize. It was on me that I missed getting your bio and time to read it off. So I'll hand it over to you, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to be with you today. My name is Letitia Cadet. I serve as the pastor of York Memorial AME Zion Church in Greenville, North Carolina. I am serving my 17th year in the ministry. I am just delighted to be with you serving. I am an advocate for social justice. In my particular contact, I am unapologetically a Black woman. What does that have to do with environmental justice, energy justice? Well, for me, it's all the same. When we're fighting the fight for social justice, I believe that pastors should open up their mouth and use the most powerful weapon. Love is our most powerful weapon, but they will know we are Christians by our love, and love must be an action word. When you're confessing love for someone, you can't just talk about it on Sunday morning. You must put your love into action, your faith into action. And if you really love them, then you will want them to prosper in every area of their life, not just spiritually. Sometimes in the Black community, we're guilty of having someone who will preach you happy, and we're good with shouting, we're good with speaking in tongues, we're good with dancing. But then what happens on Monday? Do you still have your shout when you have to go and live in poor communities? What happens on Tuesday when you cannot breathe, not just because of police brutality, but because the air is so dirty? What happens on Wednesday when you're forced to go back into environments where you're packed in like slaves on a slave ship, just in a community, in the projects, in a low housing authority? What happens on Thursday when you are suffering and dying from symptoms of COVID-19 because you don't have the right access to health care? What happens on Friday when you are forced to live in cities that are just contaminated with toxins because you don't have the money to move into the nice neighborhoods? And so as a pastor, I think it is all the same. I use my voice to advocate for the environment, for Black Lives Matter, Women Lives Matter, Black Women's Life Matter, Minorities Matters. We are all God's children. But when we see things like social injustice, police brutality, when the police can come into your house like what happened with Breonna Taylor and murder you and get away with it because the life of a dog is valued more than your life, the life of your neighbors, the potential danger that your neighbors could have faced because the police shot a gun, but your life doesn't matter. Or maybe when a Black man like Michael Vick, who can go to prison because dog lives matters, but Black women's life, they don't matter. And so I use my voice in the pulpit to preach justice, to tell the truth of the gospel, that Jesus came to set the captives free, and not just free on Sunday morning, but we must be free in every area of our life. And so I want people to win, and I have a holistic approach to ministry. I educate my members, I educate people on social media, I educate people that we cannot live in a vacuum and just say that we're okay inside of the four walls of the church, but our people are dying all around us. We as faith leaders in the faith community, we must make sure that people have the tools, the resources, the knowledge. My people perish because of lack of knowledge, that they have everything they need to win in every area of their life, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, environmentally. we must make sure that they have the tools, the resources that they need to prosper. It's time out from us just preaching people happy. We need to make sure that they can live an abundant life every day of the week. And so we do this by educating our members, by connecting with other groups in the community. I do not have to know everything. I'm sitting here on this panel and I'm saying, wow, what a wealth of resources and information. I don't have to know it all because I'm in the body of Christ. And because I'm in the body of Christ, then I partner with other organizations. I allow them to come in to share resources, to give information, to educate our people. I allow them to have an opportunity to speak to my members, to let them know that we are preaching more than just, Sunday morning feel-good messages. And so it begins by educating, teaching, preaching, advocating for social justice, environmental justice, and teaching people how it's all connected. And so what I have done here during the pandemic, I've been on a faith walk. It's been a major faith journey. I was laid off by my church in March 2020. I have not received a paycheck in 7 months, and the Lord will see who's really on the Lord's side. Since I have been laid off, I've been preaching more. Instead of preaching one time on Sunday, now I'm preaching 2 times on Sunday. I preach at 10 o'clock on Facebook. I preach at 11 o'clock in the parking lot of our church. And God blessed me with a wonderful opportunity to go around the churches all over Eastern North Carolina. I partnered with a lab to provide free COVID-19 testing to people who did not have access. We've been in the country to Lelandton, Lumberton, Red Springs. We've been to the city in Greensboro, Raleigh. Right now, I'm actually in a closet. What do you mean, Pastor Cadet? I'm literally in a closet. I'm here at Livingstone College in Salisbury, North Carolina, and we are providing COVID-19 testing to all of the students and all of the faculty and staff so that they will be able to keep their students and staff safe. We partner with President Jenkins and Vice President Anthony Davis to be able to come in and provide this to a historically Black college. We just want to make sure that people are safe, that people are being treated, diagnosed, that people are getting the health care that they need and the resources that they need. And so this was my way of fighting for social justice and environmental justice, my way of fighting to make sure that people are winning and having an abundant life in every single area, that we are to be good stewards over the entire earth. That includes all. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That's what Dr. King said, and we must mean what we say and we must practice what we preach. I'm so happy that the pandemic allowed us to go outside of the 4 walls of the church. I'm so happy that now we're out there in the community providing outreach ministry and resources that people need. And so that's why I'm sitting here in the closet, because we're actually tested. And so I had to sneak away to be able to join this panel. I would not have missed it. And I thank God for the work that all of you are doing. But as pastors, preachers, evangelists, prophets, bishops, elders, teachers, whatever your title or your position, this is definitely the time when we are finding out who is about service. And so that's what I want to do. I want to serve. I believe that every skill and every spiritual gift that God gave me in the secular field, now I can use it for the body of Christ. I do have a bachelor's of science in public health, and I do have a Juris Doctorate from UNC Chapel Hill. And how does all of that fit now with being a pastor, serving as a pastor? Well, when I studied health policy and administration in Chapel Hill, it blessed me to be able to put it all together. When I studied law, it blessed me to be able to put it all together. There were times when somebody said, do you mean to tell me you went to school for 7 years there and then you went to Hood Theological Seminary 3.5 more years? Are you a lifetime student? I believe in getting all the education I can to help the kingdom, to help the body of Christ. Black, white, Japanese, Korean, everybody in the body of Christ. And if we will learn how to come together and share resources, what I learned when I was studying health policy and administration, what I learned when I was studying law, now I can use it to fight for justice for the least of these. Only what we do for Christ will last. Did you serve the least of these? And so that's what I'm doing as a pastor, providing COVID-19 testing, providing food, resources, financial aid, grants, whatever we can do to help people win in every area. I believe that's what we need to do. But in particularly in the field of environmental justice, for me, is not a separate issue. For me, when we preach Jesus, we preach setting the captives free, then we must be free in every area, including environmental justice. So again, I say thank you for giving me this opportunity just to serve with these amazing people. I feel inadequate. All I'm doing is using my voice to be able to serve, but all of you are doing major work, and we would love to partner with you. Again, in the body, you don't have to be jealous or envious of anybody. I don't have to know how to do what you do. I just need to invite you in to speak to my congregation. I just need to jump on board. So thank you for introducing me to all of these wonderful people, and I look forward to partnering with you all. Finally, we must make sure that we are getting people to vote. In North Carolina, early voting is October the 15th through October the 31st, and we must make sure we are getting people to vote. Personally, October is Clergy Appreciation Month all across Christendom. And I have personally asked all of my members, do not buy me any food, do not give me any gifts, do not bring me any flowers, let the flowers live in their natural habitat. Do not give me any gift cards. I have personally asked all of my members to make sure that they are registered to vote, that they go vote, which is their civic duty, and then that they send me a picture as my clergy appreciation gift. So far, this is the 7th day of early voting, and I have had 119 members send me a picture as evidence that they did go and vote. And so for me, it's about changing a mindset, making sure we are voting for people who have integrity, who have good morals, who are Christians, not in word, but in deed, by the way they vote, by the policies they pass, by the laws they put into place. And so all of it is connected for me. Make sure we're voting for people and advocating for people who are going to protect Black lives, minority lives, all lives, and the environment. Thank you.
Yeah, I need to find me a closet.
Right? Don't get in the closet somewhere. No, listen.
That's about a closet.
Thank you, because what I actually wanted for us to do, or wanted to do, was present various ways that people can actually get involved. And in all actuality, you are an expert in speaking on ways that ministries can get involved. Now, this is an interfaith forum, and so therefore, it's not just Christians in this forum. We also have other faith groups in this forum as well. And even in that, the same principles apply. It applies to us being servants and us being of service to our communities, being of service and teaching service to those that we serve. And so in your examples, you did just that. And thank you for providing us various tools and various avenues for getting involved. Shiva,